Namaste. Welcome.
Hello, welcome to everybody. Welcome back to this nice appointment.
Nice to see. I got an ad going here. Um, Nice to see Nadine is here. She's got a question already.
Mm-hmm.
Moon, Oscar, Vicky. Nice to see you guys. They were all here this morning for the practice already, but still nice to see you, everyone.
Yeah, we wait a couple of minutes more to see if someone else will arrive.
Svetlana, happy you're here. Welcome.
Great
Nadine says we're like groupies now.
group.
Okay. Um,
What do you think? We start a little bit. Okay, I start with some small announcement. So again, this is an appointment that we still wanna go because we see that it's going well. So Sunday morning at 11 in Calgary, in Canada.
Mountain Standard Time.
We have this live meditation with the Q&A, so answers, question and answers.
Q&A.
No, an R. Yeah, to grow a little bit this community and maybe see, create some more connection. Then during this week, there will be the end of the 10-day challenge, new me, new year, new me.
Yeah.
You feel new if something happens? I have a new Andrew, look at that. She is another person. And I know that yesterday Andrew just released another video for the membership, the crazy human capacity workouts. Craziness. Great. And it's a good continuation also for the, you and me, new me and the new year. And then, not this week, but next one, we plan to start the Zoom class. So this week we'll come out with some more detail. And what else? The new one, that there will be more class come on YouTube. So stay connected with us, share our contents, and invite your friends. Then the 12 and the night of the 12 this week there will be a new moon. So new moon in Capricorn. There are many nice astrologers. I know that a couple of our members they do some readings, so I don't want to go to detail, but it's a new moon. So if you want to put a new intention, it's a good time to do it, especially because the new moon of the first, the 2021, the first new moon. So it can be a good time to put some intention or something like that. And what else? No, basta. No any new. We're still here. We will stay here for a bit more. We have a new plant. You already see.
Claudia set this up. Those of you that have been following the challenge saw the transformation right away.
And today the meditation it will be Andrew to guide and introduce and
Your mom is here.
Oh, ciao mama! Just have to her to follow us. See, I know that she will not really understand because she's Italian. I'm Italian also. Ciao madre, tutto bene?
Te amo, mama.
So like as usual, we will do the meditation. There will be a small introduction of what we choose for today, and today will be Andrew. Then we will do 20 minutes, and then we open for the question. I know there is someone already. Don't be shy. We don't bite nobody, also because we are far on the computer, so we cannot. And I hope that you will enjoy.
Beautiful. So welcome. I just say for those of you who don't know, like Clelia mentioned, we plan to start to do these Zoom classes. We're going to release the details here on YouTube via the community tab. For those of you that follow the channel, if you're not following, subscribe. I'm sure everyone here is already subscribed. Also, we'll release the details on Facebook, and maybe you'll put a post on Instagram too. She does the Instagram thing. I don't understand it at all.
Not the best one, but
I love you too, Mama. Nice to see. And yeah, I do you guys get distracted? So yeah, I appreciate to see so many questions already. It's great, and we will come to all of these after. And if you have more, keep them coming. It just give us content to talk to you guys about. and we're going to do the meditation now today. So the meditation that I want to share with you guys today, it's actually a meditation that I put on the channel before. Some of you might be familiar with it, but I find it's really good for both beginner and for the times when you have busy mind. You know, sometimes when the mind is really all over the place, to just sit and watch the breath, or just sit and feel sensations in the body, like Clelia guided us through Vipassana last time, can be quite difficult because the mind can be so much louder than subtle sensations. So what I want to share with you today is a form of mantra meditation. Mantra literally means leading the mind. And the mantra usually refers to a phrase, a saying, or just syllables. It's a meditation with sound, where we use, in this case, we're going to use 2 syllables, but there's many different mantras. Aum is one of the most commonly known bija mantras. Then there's other big mantras. Om Bu Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitura Varenya. It's a song, but it's also a mantra with a lot of power behind it. And there's lots of different mantras, and they all have a certain power behind them. Because, as we know, everything is energy. My body, my words, my mind, this plant, Clelia, our love, everything has an energy. And just like that, every sound has a vibration. You know, if you play any musical instruments, you really understand this, that sound is vibration. You play a guitar, the string vibrates at a certain frequency, and it makes a certain sound. So this is the idea, the science behind mantra, is that we tap into a certain frequency and it has a certain effect within us. The mantra that we're going to be using today is So Ham. So Ham. Literally, it translates to I am that. And this mantra is it's nice because it's a very traditional one, and it's a safe one to share. Some mantras you need an initiation from the guru and the lineage and everything for it to really be effective. But this is such a common one, much like Aum, that we can share it and we can go deep with it right away. So Soham, I am that, is one of these epiphanies that masters have when they come back from the expanded state of samadhi, where they may realize that I am everything, you know, and it's kind of like there's so much power behind this saying, I am that. And you can ponder this as much as you want and go into a whole other type of meditation with it. Another explanation of this Soham mantra is that it's the sound of the breath. If we go really still, really quiet, and we listen to the breath coming in and out, it almost makes this sound. So and what we're going to do today is we're going to try to tap into that. So this is beautiful because we're keeping the mind busy by mentally saying over and over, so ham, so ham, so ham. We're also going to connect it with the flow of the breath. Because like we said before, the breath is the greatest way to see where you are now. You know, your breath is changing depending on your state of being. So we're going to really witness the breath, use the mantra to lead the mind, and be able to go very deep. So we will inhale the sound so, exhale the sound nam. So, hum. So, hum. So, hum. There's other variations of this, and we might teach them later on, but for now, just inhaling so, exhaling hum. I will type it in just so you understand what I'm saying. I put it in the chat, so hum. I think that's all I have to say to introduce. Did you want to share anything more? Okay, so let's prepare, guys. Make your way into a comfortable seated position. Press the seat down. Reach the crown of the head up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Heart is open. Take a deep inhalation through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh out. Oh, soften the body, soften the mind. Again, deep inhalation. Oh. And one last time. This time we're going to hold the breath. Inhale. Hold. Inhale even more. Hold the breath. Relax the body. And let it out. Sitting with the eyes closed, the attention turned inside. Take this moment to tune in with the breath. Like we did in the first meditation, Anapana. Feel the breath coming in through the nose, deep down into the belly, and feel the breath flowing from the belly up the throat and out the nose. Just witnessing the breath in this moment. Inhaling and exhaling. Allow each inhalation to energize, awaken, and lift your spirit. And each exhalation to soften the body, relax the mind, and bring you to a greater state of presence. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Focusing entirely on the breath and just witnessing the natural flow of the breath without controlling. If you find when you observe the breath, you have a tendency to hold it or to control it, just control it in what feels like the most natural rhythm for you right now. And eventually you'll find yourself just witnessing. In through the nose and out through the nose. And gently start to introduce the mantra, so, hum. Just mentally inhaling the sound so, exhaling the sound hum. So, hum. If any point the mind starts to wander, just note to yourself, I am thinking. I'm coming back to the mantra. And continue to inhale so, exhale hum. Inhaling so, exhaling hum. Allow this powerful mantra connected with the breath to take you deep inside yourself. So, hum. Sitting with the eyes closed, attention turned inside. Just take a moment to notice where you are now, how you feel in your body and mind. Just take a moment to say thank you to yourself for taking this time to focus on your well-being, to share in the energy of this meditation with other beautiful people all over the world. Take a deep inhalation into the heart. As you exhale, gently coming back. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Very nice, guys. I want to remind you when we do any sort of meditation, sometimes the mind is busy. Sometimes we forget, and all of a sudden we're like, oh no, I wasn't doing the meditation. I was lost in some thought or some fantasy. If you notice that, you've succeeded. My teacher said one valuable thing to me. If you sit for meditation for an hour and only one time you notice that you're lost in thought, you've succeeded. The idea is not to sit and be perfectly only so hum, only so hum. The idea is to notice when the mind has a tendency to go and bring it back, even just once. It's a successful meditation.
And also remember that not all the meditation are for everybody. For example, this one, honestly, for me, is one of the most, I don't know, the repetition of the mantra is not my practice. Like a meditation, I go lost very fast. I find myself listen, this is so hum, and then I go, what is it? What I'm doing? So it's not mine, but there are many different meditation where I feel extremely connected with this state of meditation. So don't worry, some of them are more difficult for you and some is more easy, and also maybe today is not good, tomorrow will be amazing. So
Everything's always changing, and this is another hope aside from the Q&A, is to give you different forms of meditation so you can find what's working for you.
yeah, this was the idea behind this small project and the community, of course.
Yeah. So let's how was it for you? Let's if anyone wants to share, how was this Soham mantra meditation? If it helped you or if it felt like forever. Let's take a look at the questions here. Nadine says, I was wondering what you guys typically like to drink. Do you have a particular amount of water that you drink each day when not on the rice diet? Or favorite teas, etc.? Trying to get off caffeine. So myself, I drink coffee in the morning. Every morning I start with a cappuccino. When I don't drink coffee, because sometimes I also try to cut it out, but then I'll usually drink green tea. And in the evenings, I have a few different herbal teas that I like. Sometimes I drink a Deniana, which is really good for the blood circulation. When I feel like I want to relax a little bit more, recently I've been drinking catnip or passion flower because they're both quite relaxing teas. Be careful, the passion flower has some monoamine oxidase inhibiting properties, so it can maybe is not good if you're taking other medications. Aside from that, We drink some other herbal teas, peppermint and ginger, lemon, honey.
So now I want to tell you something about because me I'm more obsessed with the food and and what I drink for different reasons. One is a little bit for my take care about my healthy, so a little bit it's inflammation of the colon because I'm more sensitive, and also because I really again and again believe that we are what we eat, so also what we drink. So for me, water is an essential things that cannot be come si dice, not deny, but it's important that we have a good water.
It's
Okay, so
essential,
we
yeah.
essential, yeah. We travel a lot, especially in in Asia and in Thailand or India or Indonesia. We cannot drink the water from the tap because it's not how you call one is not good.
It's not purified. There's lots of bacteria in the
Yeah,
water.
so in Italy, for example, also here in Canada, you can drink the water from the tap, but still, personally, I still drink mineral water, and I look for mineral water, not any drinking water, not any filter water. I look for some good quality because I think it's essential in our being, and it's the only things that unfortunately, really, really unfortunately, I use the bottle, so it's in a plastic, and I feel very bad for this, but at the same time, it's the only things that I really looking to have nice and clean because water, I think it's very important. And if you drink a lot, for example, in Thailand, we have this drinking water, it's very common and it's very cheap.
This
They
big
sell it in
10,
a
10-liter
very
jug.
10-liter jar. So first one, I don't know how these jars are clean, so which kind of chemical product they use, and inside usually there are something for sure, some the residue that is there. And second one, the drinking water is not that is extremely bad because it's a water that is being filtered in a different layer until it's become good to drink, but inside there is nothing. So when we drink this, if we drink plenty of that, what happens that this water will go through our system, and then through the sweat or through when we go to the toilet, we lose a lot mineral that is in our system, and we don't replace with nothing. So if this happens at least 1 or 2 times for weeks, you need to replace this mineral with some kind of I don't know supplement. Otherwise, it's much better to have mineral water because mineral water have naturally inside this kind of substance that our body need, and when we sweat, we don't lose, but we lose, but we repristinate with the water that we have. And then I really avoid completely any kind of can, juice, soda, everything is in the bottle. Now you see me drink this because I'm doing another detox. And this is the apple juice, pure apple juice, because I'm doing the liver and
Gallbladder.
gallbladder detox. That for 1 week you need to drink apple juice. And then today I am in the big process. I'm a bit scared about it.
We'll tell you about it later.
I will tell you what was going on. And I don't drink coffee. I drink tea sometime. And in the last couple of weeks, I avoid completely also tea. And I drink a lot of ginger, lemon, honey. Also this because it's very good. And when I am in a state of inflammation, I drink turmeric, water and turmeric, because it's really anti-inflammation property.
The best thing you can do to get these sort of, I mean, the best, I know you can, Nadine, because I think you're up north, but the coconut is the greatest
Coconut is
water
good.
you can drink ever, but we don't have access to that
Yeah,
in
but
a lot
also
of
this you cannot drink every day or all day.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
Trust me,
Okay.
But yeah, if fruit juices, like real fruit, if you can juice your own fruit, if you are very limited,
Vegetable
even just to add like squeeze a lemon into your water to add some nutrients and some minerals from that natural juice can be good. Myself as well. Right now, I'm drinking the from the Brita, so filtered water. And I know it's not as good, but sometimes I drink the bottled water with her. But
Yeah, because also in the tap water, we don't know exactly which chemical they put inside and which amount. And I don't know, I really used to drink mineral water, and when I drink a different water, I really feel the different taste. So it's become I know a little bit obsessed. I'm a little bit Virgo, so I have this kind of purity and things in me. But for me, water is very essential, and I honestly renounce to many things, but not to the water. I need to be a good mineral water.
So Vicky says the diet and challenge, because Vicky and Moon are also doing
Good.
the Osava diet, the brown rice diet. She says the diet and challenge work well together. We feel so powerful and energetic. We also need less sleep, have no hunger or appetite. I haven't been able to go to the toilet since Tuesday.
Okay, this can be a bit.
This can happen with the diet, but
Yeah.
you're feeling well, and it's not really a question. But
No.
glad that you guys are
Yeah.
enjoying this process.
Remember, if you have a big trouble with the diet, some miso soup it can be helpful to a little bit move the bowel, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, or some algae can be helpful.
Chitan says, do you guys get distracted with everything going on around yourself? If not, how do you keep yourself focused? I mean, yes and no. Of course, we do get distracted, and especially it's been a big change for us coming from the life we were living in Asia to living in North America with my grandmother's big changes. But the sadhana, the practice, is what keep us focused. Do this meditation, do the 10-day challenge like we're doing on YouTube. This is what I use. It's and I have a time. I have time in the day where I allow myself to be distracted. I allow myself to consume some stuff to distract my brain. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't want to be full power 100% of the day, because I think that it's important to balance these as well. So that's what I use.
For me, I notice that there are a couple of things that are really make my mind too much monkeying and crazy. So I decide to avoid completely or as much as I can certain things like social media. Facebook number one, and all the news. Of course, I still going maybe in the morning through some news to see what is going on around the world. But honestly, I noticed that they make me very angry, and some bad emotions stuck on myself, and then this is become some pain around the body, and so not make my life better, and I decide to completely avoid for sure Facebook, and then I have some social media where I still going because we are connected with YouTube, and a little bit is our job and marketing a little bit around our channel. But I really try to avoid any also these complot or these things. I try to make my mind more clear as possible in what is present now, and I have a lot good friends that I trust, and I have news from them, and I prefer share and feeling this kind of information instead of someone that is telling me, yeah, there is up and that, or that is up and that, because honestly I don't really believe on the news from this kind of social media or the news. So this I notice what make me feel better is avoid this kind of information.
Yeah, there was a period when we first arrived, because we came from Thailand, where there was essentially nothing really going on about the coronavirus. We had to wear the mask to go into 7-Eleven, but there was no restrictions. And we're not consuming the media there because it's in Thai and we don't really seek it out. But moving in with my grandmother, she's got the news on in the background all day long. Whether she's watching it or not, it's there. And I found myself getting such a resistance to I don't know, to me it was so obvious that it's trying to give you some ideas, plant some thoughts in the back of the mind. I developed such a resistance to it that I was going almost down the path of the conspiracy theorist, too far. And then I realized that this was not bringing me any peace either, and from one extreme to the other, they're both polarized, and neither of them are peaceful. One is acting out of fear of the virus, one is acting out of fear of the man, and neither of them are. So I realized, don't let any of that in. Just stick to what I can do right now in this moment to find peace. For me, that's the practice. That's reading, it's studying, it's focusing on that now, this is essentially what, because I went through a big struggle, and it was difficult for me to be with my family and to be with myself, and now it's I've had to surrender somehow. I still have my beliefs, I still have my what I think is right, but at the same time I'm doing a certain degree of surrender to the circumstances, just because it's the best way to manage my own peace and the peace of my family around me.
And also because, if we really look at the what is going on now around world from outside, if for a moment, for a brief moment, we have the capacity to look from outside a big picture, a big prospect, we can see how it's a cosmic, plan, and we cannot really change the things that are going on now. For example, I really passionate about astrology, so it's very make me listen different person and see how this planet are influence what is going on now in the earth and are really clear. So I say, this polarization is kind of what is supposed to happen now, and the best thing is acknowledge that and don't be involved, because in the moment that we go involved in the all the circle and stuff, it's like we have no anymore the capacity to see the big picture from outside, because when you are inside you are not anymore able to see what is going on from, oh look, there is this and that. So better to stay, is not completely selfish and say, you know what, I close myself in this cave, I don't want to know what is happens outside, who care about, okay? It's not that, it's I know what is going on. I don't want to go and be involved in the moment and in the point where I cannot see the picture from outside. So I see, I acknowledge, I notice, and I observe and say, okay, I don't want to be part. I want to be present, and I want to just, keep this positive vibration with me, because I know if I keep this inside me, I can also influence around me. And this, I will attract people that is positive, and I hopefully will make some people that is negative more positive. I don't know, this is of course it's just hope and wish, but this is what we try to do. I think is this idea that of course it's not easy, but we really try to be there.
Yeah, those of you that are doing the challenge right now, I've said it over and over. The most selfless work we can do is working on ourselves, because it does. That's how we create change. We change ourselves first, and it create an influence. So yeah, it's beautiful what you said. So Atlanta said, "Can you list the names of the tea you drink in the post?" I said I'll leave it in the comment section below after the video. I'll write down all the different teas and kind of the properties that they have. Nadine said, "I found that the words brought me back to my silent better, brought me back more than my silent meditation, the Soham."
Mm-hmm.
But was still a wild ride. So glad that you enjoyed it. Vicky says Soham was a bit of a struggle in my mind. At the end, I came into a nice state of being. Thank you for the meditation. Nadine laughs because she lives in the Northwest Territories where it's more snow than here. So she says that juicing isn't an option, but I do lemon water every day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already doing it great. I use the Brita and Soda Stream for the fizzy water. Me, I love the fizzy water too. I really like this. Clelia and Andrew, this is profound advice. If we work on our insides, how we show up in the world will, yes. And this is one of the biggest teachings on the spiritual path, is that if you want to change the world, all you need to do is change yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? It's so difficult to change ourselves, because we have patterns, we have habits, we have everything. But it's infinitely easier to change ourselves than to change anyone else. If it's so much work to change yourself, and you should have as much control of yourself as you possibly can, think there's no way you can change another person. But you can influence, you can lead by example. And this is what we try to do here.
I have a question, I suppose, from Maya, that I don't know if she's still there.
She said hi at one point. You still hear Maya? Was in the middle of the meditation, she wrote hello.
Yeah, because I have a question on my phone that she wrote me. Maya, she's a very good friend of mine, and then we had a similar
life path.
Life path, but slightly difference, because when I left for come to Thailand and India, she left and went to Mexico. So we share our experience in a different way, but still, we are going in the same way. So she asked me about the 10-day challenge.
Maya is here, by the way.
Okay.
You want me to read it?
See, yeah, if you wanna, she wrote me all the question.
So hi, I am experiencing probably a purging of the Manipura chakra due to the 10 days challenge we are doing. She's doing the one right now?
Yeah,
New Year, New
yeah,
Me?
yeah.
Okay.
She did the 7 this morning, no?
Beautiful. Glad to have you here, Maya. I love you, Kelly. I love you, Andrew, too. Today I kept fighting as a retard on Facebook with someone I don't care about. This provoked another fight with another person. But I also made peace after 7 years with someone else. I felt lots of power and rage. I wasn't angry. I just felt power and the need to have the right. The energy is still very strong in me. I also feel that it's in my throat and nose. Oh, beautiful. Very beautiful. Do you want to answer this or do you want me to?
The challenge, I have something to tell, but if you wanna, because you are doing the challenge, so.
Yeah, so this is beautiful. This anger, this emotion, it's a sign of energy moving. Specifically, what you talk about, this power and this wanting to inflict some sort of will over someone else, is a sign of Manipura chakra. Now we work a lot with the chakras, and like I said the other day, the chakras don't have they're not on or off. They're always awake. They're always working, but at different energies. And at the lowest energy is called tamas. It's heavy, it's inertia, it's not movement, it's kind of stuck and stagnant. If someone's in a tamasic energy in their chakra, it might feel like it's stuck or it's not working because it could feel very heavy. Tamas in Manipura can be really a lack of self-esteem, a lack of self-confidence, feeling like the victim, like everybody's attacking you. It's the complete opposite of confidence and courage. When we start to energize, we go from a state of tamas, very low energy or lack of, into a state of rajas, which is overactive, hyper, or passion. And then that takes us to the highest state, which is sattva, which is purity. We cannot skip this transition. We always go from low to high to center, always. So when we start to work with the chakras, in this case, working with Manipura, we go from a state of tamas, which is kind of maybe lack of self-confidence or not standing up for yourself or not, expressing your will, your power, into a state of rajas, overactivity, which is in Manipura, this manifests as perfectionism, as control, as being as Clelia says, the freak control, or wanting to impose your will on someone. And a lot of people in high up on the business, high up on any hierarchy, whether it's political or CEOs or something, they usually get into this rajasic Manipura where they get sort of like this need to express power or to gain control. And it's completely natural. It's completely normal. When we do this yogic path, we want to step into that power, but we want to go beyond it. When we reach sattvic Manipura, we have the courage and the confidence to lead and to command people. But we also tap into honor and humility to understand that other people need to make their own mistakes and go their own path. So this is one of the greatest, the balanced sattvic state of Manipura is kind of like the wise master. Maybe you know the answer, you know what's right for someone, but there's also this understanding that they need to walk the path themselves. The greatest master doesn't give you the answer, it just gives you a question to let you figure it out yourself.
Yeah, at the same time, there is also the idea that, especially with money, with all the chakra, if we overcharge or we overwork with that, we can have some kind of really rajasic effect. So, especially with Manipura, I feel that when there is too much work there, we need also to move the energy up. For this reason, usually during the yoga class, what happens, we start with some, we go through, then we have maybe, in this case, we work a lot with Manipura, then in the end, it should be always some kind of meditation or sublimation or long shavasana to come back again to this, because if it's overcharged, especially Manipura, the effect can be this, and you can see this because, for example, people that do a lot gym, they go to pump the muscles and they do a lot of this kind of, physical exercise. You can notice that they always a little bit, not everybody, but it can be that they are a little bit more tense and more like this kind of aggressive,
Dominating.
no, even dominant is this aggressive because it can be repressors aggression. It's not mean to be dominant because yes, there is the Manipura, the leader, but there is also the good il soldato, the good soldier. It can be a huge Manipura because it's, I follow what my king will tell me until I go to diet for him. This is a big expression of Manipura also. So it's not only the leader, it's also in the other side. So it can be also regression, repression, so aggression. So be careful when we work a lot with that, and if you feel this kind of feeling, and I can talk with Maya specifically because I know her a little bit. Like me, we have this tendency to have more masculine energy to us. So when we work with Manipura, we don't really have a lack of Manipura in this way. So maybe we have the tendency to become a little bit more aggressive and looking for that, for express this and take out this energy. Instead, it can be okay, but instead, I suggest you, if you recognize this moment, at least this, if I have something that I need to fix with Andrew, I usually don't go in this state where I feel aggressive. I recognize where it is, I go to my process, and then if it's an argument that will, help our relationship, I go through. Otherwise, is I recognize, wait a moment, it's just because I need to express this hunger that I have inside for some other different reason. Maybe I find different way to express or to, move this energy from down to upward and to use the energy in a different way. So my suggestion is, have an argument with someone or a fight with someone is good in the moment that you recognize that this will bring you with a relationship with the other person with some other high state or high level or to help the relationship, strengthen the relationship. If it's just because you need to express this hunger or this energy that you have inside, and you find any things that can be okay, Andrew is here, I throw up on Andrew, everything is inside with not really any way to go, but just because of that. So in this case, I suggest you to sit and maybe do some sublimation or move this energy from down to upward, because this is energy that is just overcharged there and need to go somewhere. In the same way, in a different level, for example, it can be, when I want to suppress some emotion in an hatha because it's too much, I cannot handle. What I do, I eat sugar, I eat any kind of, things that cover down because I cannot handle. Or when I'm extremely, I feel fear, for example, extremely, I have a shock, an accident or something, what we do, usually we go to sleep, because we really need to charge again back and again to go in a state where it's normal. So each different chakra have an overcharge or really low, where we need to find a way to again go back eventually to the middle way, to the sattva, because it's there where we can have the best benefit. If it's just I need to express it, or jealousy is for Svadhisthana. If it's too much, I need to, and I go to fight with my boyfriend. But maybe it's not for that. It's just because you have a lot of energy there and you need to move this energy in a different way. And maybe you need some different things to do and move the energy from down to upward. This is always a good way to observe if this is serve you or is just a way to distract yourself somehow in any different level. Make sense?
Yeah, and a lot of times when we have a conflict in a chakra, it can, or with an energy, it's usually resolved by going up to the next.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so if we're in fear or we're like now we're worried about our survival or these things about or feeling a sense of lack, these are all Muladhara qualities. If we go up just to Sadhana and find some enjoyment, some pleasure in the life, it can usually help to take us out of that in a more healthy way than like Lily said, you know, hiding or going to sleep. This is going down. If we go up, it's usually more healthy. In the same thing, if we're stuck in Svadhisthana, in emotions, jealousy, desire, addiction, best thing we can do is go up to Manipura, rise to courage, confidence, this willpower to go over our jealousy or our addictions. If we're too overpowering in Manipura and trying to impose our will and control everything, going up to Anahata, to love, acceptance, surrender.
Compassion.
You know, if we're too broken in Anahata, now we get to a bit of a different energy because as we go higher, but you know, in Anahata we can be so emotional, so lost in this very sadness, a real true sadness, a beautiful sadness. But if we can go up to Vashuddha and start to see more transpersonal, like we lose a loved one, we have this broken heart. But if we can start to connect with the divine and realize
Beauty.
the beauty, the infinity of everyone and everything, it can help to pull us out of that. And as we go higher, it's just more higher states of consciousness. There's not as much conflict in the upper chakras.
Yeah, also if in Athens is very, you can be very.
There can be conflict, but
Yeah.
it's another kind.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Oscar. I saw your question before, and somehow it got lost in the chat. Thank you for saying it again. He said, "Are you vegetarian or vegan, and what are the benefits of it?" So I'm definitely not vegan. I will talk for myself. I had a period where I was vegan when I was first in the path, and I think there are so many benefits of it. I just I maybe have too many impurities or I'm too distracted. I drink milk in my cappuccino. When we were in Thailand, I was always drinking coconut milk, but now that we're here, the coconut milk is not as nice, especially for the cappuccino. I eat cheese and eggs quite often. Very seldom I might have some meat, but usually it'll be like a seafood or fish or something. But the benefits. Do you want to talk about yourself first, or should I say some benefits of why one would choose this path? I used to be very passionate about veganism and vegetarianism, um, because there's lots of studies about why it's good for you. I'll tell you a few of mine, the reasons that I had to be vegan, and the reason I used to impose my will on other people to convince them to not eat animals. For one, animal proteins have been shown again and again to not be good for the body, to cause osteoporosis. The body does not have an actual enzyme to break down animal proteins. So what happens is when you eat animals, whether it's meat or cheese or eggs or anything, is that the body produces hydrochloric acid rather than having an enzyme like actual carnivores have. The hydrochloric acid creates an acidic environment in the body, which we know is great for bacterial, viral, and cancerous growth. And the way that the body compensates for this extra acidic environment is by taking calcium from the bones to neutralize the acid, which causes osteoporosis and other bone degrading diseases. Aside from the animal proteins, the way animals are raised, the way that these kind of foods are produced is full of hormones, full of toxins, full of antibiotics, and full of fear. You know, a lot of these animals are not raised well. They're in a place of stress, of fear, of worry, and they produce a certain hormone. They produce cortisol and all of these things. And when you eat that product, you consume those hormones and it has an effect on your body as well. Everything is energy. If the animal is like free range and healthy and happy and is killed very humanely, it's for sure was not as bad for us to eat meat back in the day than the way the animals are raised now, pumped full of unbelievable amounts of chemicals. Another reason is in yoga we talk about the recommendations of yoga, the yamas, and the first one is ahimsa, which is non-violence. You know, and we cannot ignore the fact that the way that all of the meat and animal products produced today are usually involving some sort of violence, and it's very sad. And you know, to think about it now, I feel quite guilty that I consume as much when I drink my milk or cheese. There is some things that I'm not so proud of but I fall into a state of ignorance about sometimes as well. I'm not perfect, and I don't want to claim to be. But I definitely understand, and I encourage everyone to investigate and try for yourself. Also, you'll feel much lighter, much more healthy. The skin gets better when you don't eat animal products. If you're doing sort of workout or exercises, recovery is better. If you're Many things are healthier.
My side, I'm a bit more obsessed. Many different reasons. I'm not completely vegan. I'm trying to, but there are a couple of things that I still eating. Also, if it's very bad and I feel very bad. But one of the main reasons that I really start to change the way I was eating. So first one, I've been always, I never really been a meat since I was very young. I think 12 years old, I start to stop to eat meat. I don't know if my mother's still there, but she remember probably that it was a bit of fight in because when you are young and meat is important and for iron this and that, and I always refuse to eat it. So it's very long time that I don't eat animals for many different reasons. One is the like Andrew just tell is they are full of fear and antibiotics and things that I don't want in my body, and they are very kept in a captivity, not in a very good way. So I always refuse that. And since I start to do yoga, this is what a little bit is bringing me slowly to start to clean my way to eat my food. I mean, clean, I mean, I don't eat any, I try to don't eat any, come si dice, the product that is very processed food. Again, no can, no this, product that is in a plastic bag. And try to eat mostly vegetable, rice, and fruits. And this is because when I start to do yoga in the school where it was really kind of main rule to clean the body. And I'm again a little bit also Virgo, so I'm obsessed with clean. Everything need to be clean. I clean the house and everything needs to be nice and clean. And the food also, so slowly I start to, take out. When I start to take out before the alcohol. I was drinking, I was smoking, the drug. I will start, to clean the main stuff, and then slowly I went through, and I start to take out the, cheese and this and that, blah blah blah. And what I notice is that my body is much better. If I look a picture from me now and 10 years ago, I can see the difference on my face, and and I feel much better. So for sure there are a lot of today
Evidence.
I don't have evidence that today I don't have the word. Sorry, I'm a bit around. Then I think it's the diet.
Yeah.
And it benefit. There is a lot benefit on doing that. The a little bit things that I'm upset about is that I notice more I clean and more I become sensitive. So as soon I eat something that is not, vegetable, or sometimes I go for some, I don't know,
Chips or something.
chips, for example, chips. I eat 3 chips, I'm sick. Or I drink some juice that have something inside, I'm sick. So it's really, you become so clean, then everything is, a little bit out of, you will feel it. This is a bit the contra side of that. Then you need to stay in the path, I can't, and even now, if I just try to drink some, I don't know, alcohol or vodka or something, drops and I already feel bad. It's like, okay, it's already enough. So, this is a little bit. Also, if I eat now too much cheese or anything that is not natural, I really feel. So this is a little bit. Sometimes I feel it was easy before. I couldn't, eat everything and don't think about. Now I need to check. I go to the supermarket and read what there is inside this. No, we don't buy because there are too much bad things inside. And here in Canada, it's crazy how many things you put inside. The food that is not necessary. So I'm shocked. It's like, oh wow. Yeah, I'm shocked. In Thailand, it's slightly different. You can still find very, natural food or homemade food where it's less chemical inside. I'm more obsessed with the chemical Then with the, of course, animals is not eating and it's not good to eat, but the chemical stuff that we eat every time, it's incredible. These
Preservatives and
preservatives.
artificial
Yeah,
flavors and colors and all of
there
these
are a
things.
study that now we have a little problem because when we leave this body, our we go, the body it's not consumed anymore like back in the day because we have too much conservative in the body that the body stay there for long that what is supposed. And there are some episodes if you read around that there is this bubble inside that it is explosion because there are a lot chemical stuff was going on with this material body that is not anymore naturally like back in the day. So I'm very obsessed with that and I really try to avoid as much as possible. We are human and also I have, my pre-menstruation time where I need to eat bad things and indeed I do, there are always the middle way.
I'll come back to this question, but Vicky said, "Do you still drink alcohol?" No,
No,
neither of us drink any alcohol.
zero, no alcohol, no
And,
drugs.
and I think it's one of the most detrimental to the body. One of the most commonly consumed things that are, bad for the body, bad for relationships, and bad for consciousness overall.
Bad,
It's
bad,
very
bad, bad.
low
Yeah,
vibration in the alcohol.
yeah,
So of all the substances that could be used, I would say this is one of
the last
the
one.
heaviest ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would not touch it. Retreat MS says, "Tell me some meditation for kids midbrain." We don't really teach any kids yoga, but just what I feel right now is that as long as you don't give your child this, they are in the present moment most of the time anyway. A child just needs a piece of clay and they are meditating. They need some paint and they are meditating. It's only as we get older and we think so much of the future and we dwell so much on the past that we need these techniques to try to bring us into meditation. But most children are already meditating. They're already in the present moment. So they don't necessarily need techniques as much as they just need something to do in the present moment. So encourage the growth. Don't encourage the distraction. Encourage the growth. Buy a chunk of dirt. And the kid can make things out of dirt. And it's I used to play in the dirt all the time. My grandmother still has these little sculptures I made out of clay and coffee mugs that I painted. This is meditation. Meditation does not have to be like this. And if your kid is hyperactive, it's good. It means that the mind is working. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to suffer being displaced in this life. It's just about nurturing positive ways to use this energy rather than condoning being active and being mentally engaged.
Just to conclude, because I didn't conclude because I'm really on the cloud today.
More things, back to the
Yeah,
diet.
yeah. The only thing to arrive in the end that I'm more sensitive to anything that is, bad. But the opposite is that I'm more sensitive to my energy. So also when I do my practice, I really notice the difference because I'm, if the body is clean, for example, in the 10 days of rice, where really it's going in the toxin, is very clean, I can meditate or I can move the energy really. I feel it from down to upward and I can really use and feel each chakra. And it's really more, I don't know, I can feel the vibration when I'm eating too much or when I'm eating shitty food. I cannot even feel my energy. So this is also one of the big reason why the yogi is obsessed with purity and is obsessed of the purity of the body, because the movement of the energy, especially with kundalini, needed to move in a clean vessel. And this is the main reason because I start to really change my diet and what I was eating. I forgot to close. Sorry.
Yeah.
Today I'm completely.
And I talked about this in the challenge one day actually, because I had one morning I drank my coffee and it was completely overstimulated. The more we do these practices, the more sensitive we become, and we don't necessarily have to work to purify ourselves, because so long as we do this practice, things start to fade away. Maybe if you are smoking or drinking and you start to do yoga more and more, you just will find it less attractive. It's not like you have to work. It's not like, oh, I'm going cold turkey right now.
Yeah,
It will
no.
just kind of fade out of your life.
It will happens naturally because your body is talk with you and you feel, like and that there is something that need to be changed. And slowly, more you go in connection with yourself, more yourself will tell you, you know, what to do. So it's a really back and forward. So you felt that it's not. When we went, for example, to Italy the first time, the first week, I remember we eat cheese because in Thailand there is no cheese. Okay. In Italy is plenty, and we eat cheese for 1 week because you know it's like wow, it's amazing. So he was sick,
so
sick
thick.
like he had you know the nose, the
I was
throat
congested.
full
I
of
had allergies
kappa.
for everything.
Me, I had my colon that became like this, and I was so painful. After that 1 week of cheese, we did 3 weeks of detox because you know to and also think about that the amount of time that you intoxicate your body is so small respect the amount of time that you need to disintoxicate your body. So also this in one point you think, wow, I did all this big job to clean. Wow, now I need to put the, you know, you feel like I don't want because it's I know that then to go back I need to you know to put double of the effort. So it's really naturally you go through this process really naturally and without any big effort. I need to stop now because otherwise no, it will come. It will come with the practice. It will come really, and then it will stay. This is also you know that in one point it become your and like now I'm very obsessed. I'm not obsessed. I'm everybody is free to do what they want, but when I talk about myself, I know what I want and I look for that. And there is no way I don't want any compromise of that. It's this and I go for that. That's it. You don't like it? Bye bye. See you next time. You know, this is it.
So sorry if I don't say your name, but perfect. Anyway, Nadine, I read your comment and I saw you deleted it. She said that she agreed, her daughter, that children have energy, basically.
Yeah, sorry about the children. I don't really know a lot.
But Sayesh here says, does moksha slash liberation exist? Just say it very briefly. Yes.
Yes.
There's many different degrees to what is awakening, what is liberation. And we go through various stages as we start to peel away our patterns, our conditionings. We start to access greater free will. You know, essentially, this is what liberation is. It's free will from all of these patterns and habits. And as you know, we've all experienced some sort of addiction. That is the opposite of liberation. You know, whether it's addiction to the phone, to substances, to sugar, to a
To
relationship.
beauty.
Yeah, to anything. You know, we act not out of our own free will when we're under this sort of conditioning. And then there's various degrees to how much liberated one can be, how much awake one can be, how conscious one can be. And moksha, liberation, samadhi, these are all very high levels of freedom where one has great realizations of who they are. And then actions are done from the self rather than from external influences or internal impulses. He also says, is weed good? Now, this really relates to the level of consciousness, what you want to achieve, what are your aspirations. For someone in chronic pain or depression or something at that stage in their life, it may be good. But many teachers on this path, and myself as well, will say that it can be after alcohol. I really think alcohol is one of the heaviest ones, especially physically. But weed is one of the worst ones on this path because to do yoga, to do meditation, that you need one thing:
Presence.
presence, concentration, awareness. And marijuana is one of the strongest drugs for taking away your presence because it floods the brain with dopamine. It floods the brain with this idea that I'm present, that I'm enjoying, that I'm interested. And as soon as that is gone, you're like, I'm not present, I'm not enjoying, I'm not interested. So it gives an artificial sense of meditation, which is detrimental to actually developing the practice and the familiarity with meditation.
And also because we talk about weed, but we can talk about a drug. There are many different ways to use the drug. And for example, for my experience, for where I come from, I was using drug when I was young. And many extra body, experience in somehow bring me on the path of yoga. Okay, so because in one part some kind of trip that I had with some drug, I was thinking, I feel and I think that there is something more that is not only this physical body. So somehow with personal meditation and this and that, then I went in this part, and then I started to completely cancel this and do more the practice, and I try to achieve these high states with natural way, with my body, with my presence, and with my mind and energy, and I'm feeling. And there are many way to do the opposite. There are many people that do the opposite, through yoga. Then you go also through the drug, and then you feel that is more easy. So drug, it can be used to have this kind of experience, but be careful because they are not safe paths.
Not at all.
You can reach, some kind of high level. There is some plant, like I don't know.
Don't use
No,
these
there
words
is
too
some
much.
plant, and you can reach this high level, but then you really don't know how to go naturally. It's not that you can, okay, I can go back there and do what I want, or this is a little bit dangerous
Of all the
path.
paths, of all the different paths, it's the one that's the most discouraged. It can take you there very fast, but it's very risky. Because, like Clelia said, when you have impurities and the energy moves, it goes straight for the impurities.
Yeah.
So if you already have a not a very clean vessel and you get into this lifestyle, it can go into it'll go straight for that. If you do have an awakening, there is risks for all sorts of mental disturbances, addictions.
Yeah, it's not safe path, and then you can use sometimes, maybe that you do some retreat or workshop. It can be helpful, but don't be addict of that, because again, it's not liberation. We come back again to some kind of addiction, and it's not poor for the body and the mind, and your energy, instead flowing naturally, will find some big blocks, and then maybe you be stuck there and come out, it will be very complicated. So personally, I don't really suggest you to use any kind of drugs to go in this high state, but instead use yourself, because this energy is inside us, and we find, and is there, and you can have it, and everybody have. We just need to find a way to move it and find liberation, and find this freedom, and this high state of conscious, and I'd say this you got it,
So Sayesh says, Sam Harris said, everything is deterministic and there is no free will. There are many teachers teaching many different philosophies and systems, and there's a nugget of truth in everything, but we are bound to karma, and in some degree there is like a path that may be written for us, but we also have the capacity to grow and to evolve and to raise our consciousness within this life. So I think that is a degree of free will, even though maybe it is what we're meant to do. Not that enlightened to be able to say yes or no. But Oscar says, I've been practicing yoga for 3 weeks now, and I'm starting to feel to stop eating meat. Thank you for sharing. Amazing. Beautiful example. Just the subtle changes create a snowballing effect in our
Yep.
lives, and all good habits come together. Just like all bad habits. When I used to, there was a period where I like quit smoking. I wasn't really drinking, but once in a while I'd go to the party. As soon as I'd have like 2 drinks, I'd smoke a pack of cigarettes, and then I'd feel like shit the next day, and then I'd eat fast food. It's all that bad stuff comes together. But all the good things come together too. You do one yoga class, and afterwards you're like, oh, maybe I want to have a salad instead of a burger. All of these things, they compound, and this is the beauty of making everything work for us together. Nadine says, love slowly transform you into what the drugs only let you glimpse. Beautiful. It's true. It's very beautiful. And as someone who I used to use quite a bit of substances as well, I can tell you, the word psychedelic literally means consciousness expanding. And while those substances can expand consciousness for a brief window, developing a clean vessel, pranayama, awareness of the chakras, wow, I've had my mind blown way more than I ever did in my youth from doing some breathing technique or some crazy sublimation practice.
Yeah, look, I feel goosebumps only to think about it. And the day after, you feel amazing. You don't feel that you want to kill yourself.
And you can keep it. It's not like, whoa, I understand the world, and tomorrow you feel like maybe I was confused. No, these messages when you take the journey to actually get to the top of the mountain, you bring them back with you. We really encourage. We want you to expand your consciousness, and we want you to bring it back and share it with those around you. Shaish also said, tried Om Namah Shivaya chanting. It's so wonderful. Yeah, we do many bhajans, many different mantras. And we plan to teach more and more of these on these Sunday things. Chelsea Williams, thoughts on political participation / voting. I've been withdrawn from that so much, not just because of what's going on where I live, the US, but because I feel so repelled from the government energetically. Honestly, Chelsea, us too.
We are out.
This is why we want to live in Asia.
Yeah.
We don't want any part of it.
No.
We live a nomadic life, really, because
we live in the world. We are cosmopolitan. We don't have any country, any
yeah,
believe
we're
we
vagabonds,
love
nomads,
everybody,
these
any
things.
color, any shape. So sorry, we cannot talk about that.
Yeah, and the sad reality is, and coming back to this Rajasic Manipura, is that most people that get to this high level of political power are ones that are power hungry people. Rarely do you see someone with pure intention and a good anahata that reaches there. And even if they do come into this environment radiating love and empathy, being in the vibration of so much Rajasic Manipura will, bring, we start to resonate with the people around us, the Sangha. When we come together and we share this, we start to vibrate all together in a higher state of consciousness just by sharing. Same thing, if you go and hang out at the political party, you're going to start to vibrate in this
and be angry with everybody.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Feel that everybody is a conspiracy.
Like we feel when we watch the news, again, coming back to what we said at the beginning, I think it's best to just find your own peace, and try to share that with the people around you by taking care of yourself, taking care of your center. I'm not a political activist, and I don't feel it's my path. For some people, it is the path, and maybe that brings you some sense of liberation.
It's not our sorry.
Chaish, I love it. You got so many questions. I've been working on myself trying to retain. Can you talk more on this subject? Unfortunately, in this, no, we will not be talking too much because the video might get banned or flagged. So we don't talk too much about, already we talked a little bit about the substances, and that might be a problem. But I have another video on the channel exactly on this. It's, if you go down on the front page to the section of philosophy talks and other things, it's one of the first or second videos where I talk all about this process that us men go through on conserving the energy. And I think that can help you find the answers you're looking for. And also, what about married life? I mean, if you want to walk this path, it's important that you have someone that supports you. Most important thing, because it's just not, otherwise it's impossible. Trust me.
You can have it, but it will be a little bit more difficult because in one point you want to share. My past relationship before Andrew, when I was started going really deep on yoga, I was with a person that it was completely opposite. And we shared amazing time together. But then in one point, there was a problem because he was go out in the evening, do big party. And for me, I wake up at 6 to do my Astanga series. So we start to, don't share any time together because it was very, different way to enjoy the life. And also with the, the intimacy was become, me, I was very ready to be open and share, and he was very close. So, and then in one point we naturally separate because where we are going, there is no any, way to share time together. So it was not anymore nice. And then eventually I find Andrew where we share many things. Sometimes is also too much. But at the same time, I know that if I'm going to some very deep process, I know that there is at least one person in the world that can, sustain me and can take the time to listen or, to help me. And also, vice versa. And sometimes also we help each other because when I have the moment down, Andrew's bringing me up, or, when Andrew's eating too much chocolate. I kick him in the face and I bring him back. So it's
It's
nice.
important, you know, and this again is resonance. When we're with someone that we resonate with, we grow together. You know, if like Clelia said, she was starting to practice and her other partner was not, it create a difference in resonance, and the two can no longer really cohabitate or share many things. And this is something called sangha in Buddhism, which is very important, and that the people around you are bringing you up. Nadine says these weekly classes are so supportive. Clelia and Andrew, so much gratitude for your offerings over YouTube Live. You post the link to Clelia's mala beads. Yes, we will make a link. I think she wanted to post some more pictures.
Yeah, because I did a couple of new ones. New. Yeah, and Svetlana will be the first one to have the new model. I
Yeah.
hope she will enjoy it.
So I will share that on the community tab as well. You're following. You already follow us on Facebook, so we'll put a